So if you're in the market right now for a new color Kobo, you have two options, the Libra or the Clara. Now if you ask me, I think they're both very solid options, but it seems like the Libra is getting most of the attention from all the hype online. But I do think the Clara is a very solid choice for a lot of folks. I've been using it now for almost a week straight every single day, and I want to share my thoughts about it with you. Now between the Libra and the Clara, I think there are three major differences that you have to know about. The first and most obvious is the price. The new Clara color has a starting price tag of $150 US. There is no customization, there's one price, one SKU. This is very comparable to the average Kindle Paperwhite that you can buy. But when you compare this to the Libra color, that device is a lot more expensive, especially when you include the stylus with the Libra. That can go up to $300 US, so quite a big difference, almost half the price. Now even though the price is so majorly different between the Clara and the Libra, they both do the same thing at the end of the day, which is help us read more books. So if all you care about is reading, the Clara is still a very great option. And one of the other differences between the Libra and the Clara is the screen size. The Libra has a 7-inch screen size, while the Clara only has a 6-inch screen size. And in today's world, it sometimes feels like a bigger screen is a better device, but I honestly don't agree with that statement at all. I think having a smaller screen size has a lot of benefits. Firstly, the 6-inch screen size is extremely portable. Now, I'm not saying the Libra is not portable with 7 inches, but with the 6-inch screen size, you can easily put this thing in your backpack, your purse. You can even put it in your pocket if it's big enough. It's just so much easier to carry around, especially if you're reading while you're on the go. The second benefit of having a smaller screen is one-handed use. Now again, I'm not saying you can't do this with the Libra, but I have to say it's so much more comfortable swiping pages, accessing menus, and just using the Clara with one hand when you compare it to the Libra, which is designed to be held from the side, whereas the Clara, you can hold it from the bottom and really access the entire screen with your thumb. Now putting aside the price and the screen size, there is one remaining difference between the Clara and the Libra, and that is the lack of stylus and handwritten note-taking support on the Clara. I actually think this is a huge advantage for the Clara. This to me makes it feel like it's so much more focused on reading, whereas the Libra has a bit of a mixed use case. You could use it for notebooks or reading, and they're trying to market it to both audiences, whereas the Clara has a very clear focus, and that is just reading. There's no other distraction on the device. And to be completely frank with you, most people who are buying an e-reader probably don't even need note-taking support with the stylus. You'll be just fine highlighting with your finger and typing out quick notes that way. You don't need that handwriting support for most use cases. And I gotta say, I think that is a great way to reduce the price, which explains why the Clara is almost half the price when you remove all those extra features. If you watch my videos, you know how much I emphasize this point all the time. All that matters at the end of the day is reading books. So whether you get the Libra or the Clara, it doesn't really matter. What matters is reading. And something that's really helped me read more books on any e-reader is having some accountability. For the past few years now, I've been hosting a monthly nonfiction book club with over 1,000 bookworms from around the world. It's been a great way to read a new book every single month and have some great discussions about the book as we read it. If you're trying to read more nonfiction in your daily life or just want to read some more books with like-minded individuals, I'll leave a link down below for the book club. It's completely free to join. Now, one of the headline features of the new Clara color is that new color screen, and similar to the Libra, I think Kobo did a great job executing on that. This thing looks really good when you use it for color purposes. Now with the Kobo Clara and any other color e-reader, you have to be prepared that there is some differences between using this device and a black and white e-reader. Color devices right now do have some limitations, and they are not as crispy and clear to look at when you compare it to their black and white equivalent. Now I don't have the new black and white Clara quite yet, but I do have the Clara 2e, which is the previous version of the Clara, and putting these two devices side by side, the Color and the 2e, you can see some very clear differences between the screen quality. In order to achieve color on an e-reader, the technology being used is basically an additional color filter being put on top of the display. This does add a bit of a haze effect. When you put these devices side by side, you can clearly tell that the Clara Color is a bit more hazy and not as clear as the 2E. The second disadvantage of having a color screen is that filter also makes the brightness much lower. When you put these devices side by side, you can clearly see that the 2E is a lot brighter when you have the front light turned off on both devices. Now I do want to emphasize the fact that the Clara Color looks really great. You're only seeing these differences because I'm putting this device side by side with another e-reader. If you just have the Clara Color by itself, you're not going to be able to tell any of these differences. It looks really nice and very seamless. I mentioned this in my Libra review, but my thoughts on color e-ink is a bit mixed right now. I think most people don't really need a color e-reader simply because you're probably going to be reading black and white text most of the time. Unless you have an essential need for reading comics, graphic novels, or manga, you just don't need a color e-reader. With that being said, having color is a nice quality of life improvement. I do like having color book covers, especially when the device is put into sleep mode. I also really enjoy having colored highlights for nonfiction reading, which is mostly what I do. So there are some perks of it. You'll have to make your own judgment call if color is worth it for you. The last thing I want to talk about regarding the Clara Color is the exterior build quality. Now, just like the Libra, this device is water resistant, which is a huge selling point for a lot of people. And this device is also using recycled plastics that were supposed to end up in the ocean, which is also a really great thing for our planet. Now, even though recycled plastics are great for sustainability, I do think they make the device feel a lot less premium, especially compared to the old Clara 2E. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but again, the old Clara had a bit of a glossy, nice finish to it on the front of the device, whereas the new Clara Color is using a matte plastic finish all around, which definitely feels a lot less premium. Now, since the Clara Color is a lot cheaper than the Libra, you may want to consider using some of those savings on buying a case. I really do enjoy having a case on my Clara Color. The official Kobo case is actually really nice. I love having the sleep cover flap for easily turning the device off and on, and also the flap has a built-in kickstand, which is really great for putting the device on your table and just having it stand up by itself. And in case you're wondering, the old Clara 2E does seem to fit in the new Clara Color case, so they are the same size if you already have a case from your old Clara. Now, if you are in the market for a new Clara Color, I definitely suggest watching my Libra Color review because these devices are so similar and that review is a bit more in depth. Link for that video on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.